That's right, so here we are on Tal'Darim Altar down the bottom left part of the map from the team mouz, the player who would prefer to advance in this tournament, but he hasn't yet won a match. He got to this through sort of a technicality, sort of a coin flip, needs to prove himself in this tournament. It is mouz.ThorZaIN, and in the upper right part of the map in the blue from the team Quantic, making a big entrance by taking out Gumiho, but can he keep up the momentum and take down ThorZaIN? It is Quantic.Apocalypse.
A very ThorZaIN pick here for this map. Seen him choose that quite a bit whenever it comes up in Team League scenarios and things like that. So has a lot of room to maneuver, can lead to very, very, very long games as well. So we'll see what he has to offer.
Yep, there's a lot you can do on Tal'Darim Altar. It's one of those maps that kind of favors nearly every style of play. You can even be, very early game harass oriented, even proxy things. There's plenty of places for that. So ThorZaIN, just kind of picking a map that you don't really know what to expect on.
All right, well, we'll see what he wants to end up doing here in this game. You can also be pretty greedy with your economy as well. It's not unheard of to see players go for command structures first. Barracks coming down for both players now, though. We'll see if they opt for expands of the gasless variety or do decide to go for a little bit of that early aggression you were talking about earlier.
Yep, that's right. So both players getting their barracks down at the same time. We'll have to see if they decide to throw down gas or if they decide to just kind of keep going and go for that early command center. One Rax gasless expand is quite popular on this map, so that wouldn't surprise me at all to see both of them go for that. And it looks like that's probably what it's going to be unless one of them throws down a gas a little bit late here.
All right, well, let's take a look now as, it looks like neither player going for that. Both players going to opt for the one Rax gasless FE. We'll see what they want to follow it up with, though. ThorZaIN, last game we saw that build that he likes to do, which is the second Rax into double gas, gives him flexibility. He decided to go for a quick third command center in that case.
Yep, looks like Apocalypse scouting the wrong position first, but he should find his opponent before too long. And ThorZaIN not really bothering to scout quite yet. Looks like he's going to send out a Marine before anything this game and see what he can find out.
Now, in contrast to the last game, ThorZaIN decided to put up his second supply depot before putting up his expansion. It is, of course, going to delay that expansion just a little bit. He is 17 seconds behind, but won't cause that big of a difference, really.
Yep. Only thing is now Apocalypse will know exactly what ThorZaIN is doing, whereas if he had started that command center behind the wall, he'd have his opponent guessing. So I'm a little bit surprised that he decided to do that. Apocalypse sees the wall off, but he's like, well, your command center's just right there. But he doesn't.
I get it.
Yeah, so he doesn't see if ThorZaIN has taken gases yet or not. So that is kind of a big deal there, but a little bit surprising here. Apocalypse has himself taken those two gases, so he'll be going into some pretty quick tech after this early expand.
Of course, the advantage, though, of putting up that second supply depot is that, of course, ThorZaIN has been producing Marines, and SCVs this entire time, and is now, of course, a couple supply up on his opponent, and going into double gas just the same that Apocalypse was before he decides to put up a second barracks. We already have a factory out now for Apocalypse. Oh, I'm sorry, I actually take it back a little bit. He started those gas basically at the same time that he started his next barracks, and so he is doing that same build we saw last time where he goes 2 racks into double gas afterwards.
Yep, so it looks like it is going to be bioplay coming out for ThorZaIN. Could be Marine tank as well. We'll have to see what direction he decides to take it. But it looks like Apocalypse is going to go for something very tech heavy, at least initially starting out with some reactored Hellions here, and then possibly moving into Banshees. We'll have to see what he decides to do.
ThorZaIN already putting a bunker up at the front, adding on the same add-ons he did last game as well. We'll see if this even comes along with a third command center here in a bit, or if he decides to prioritize those upgrades in tech.
Now, I like what Apocalypse is doing, or ThorZaIN rather, is doing here. If you look at his base, he's building supply depots at points that are going to let him kind of see things come in. He's got one way at the bottom. He's got stuff way at the top as well. He's got Marines positioned there. So ThorZaIN, if you really want to know how to safely lay out a Terran base, just watch ThorZaIN play, because he always has things in the right spot to see things coming out. Look at this. Scouting, putting another supply depot down there as well. ThorZaIN so nicely illustrating my point there and being prepared for everything. So, yeah, if you're a Terran player and it seems like you lose a lot to drops and things that you weren't expecting in TVT, study ThorZaIN and kind of see what he does, how he lays out his basics. That'll help you catch a lot of things early and hopefully kind of iron out some of those losses in your play.
Yeah, one of the best defensive macro players as well. well, already starting Cloak as Apocalypse. He throws on a Banshee after that, so he's going to have those Cloak Banshees very easily, but he is continuing with that reactored Hellion play as well. He's already got 4 out on the field, could add a couple more in a second. Decides to float down his expansion a little bit slower. ThorZaIN should be prepared for those Hellions now, though. He knows they're out.
Oh, yeah. And he should be prepared for the Banshees as well. He does have that engineering bay down. He can toss down a couple missile turrets when he needs to. So, but, you know, saying ThorZaIN is prepared for something is like saying the sky is blue. You know, I mean, it's not exactly a big shock or something like that.
Yeah.
And will the supply depot serve its purpose? Doesn't quite catch those Hellions, but it should catch anything else that flies in from that angle.
Most certainly. And we do have missile turrets coming up now, one being built inside of the natural, so he is going to be well prepared. Let's take a look and see if he scanned. Nope, he's just ThorZaIN, and he knows because he's awesome. What has Apocalypse seen in his opponent's base? He does, though. It's true.
You know, it's surprising to me that we don't see Terrans using scans as much anymore.
Oh.
Whoops. A little bit of damage there done. But.
Well, I was going to say, I think ThorZaIN had control of the Xel'Naga Tower just the time the Banshee was making its way across the north part before the Hellion got in there, so... Yep. Anyway, sorry.
I believe it did, but... yeah, if you watch TVT lately, players have been so hesitant to use scans. Look at this. Oh, wow, ThorZaIN.
Boom.
No problem at all. That Banshee just got annihilated, man.
Yeah.
Now the Banshee pilot back at the hangar bay is like, can I take the Banshee out to the enemy's base? And the commander's like, yes, but be careful with the Banshee. I don't want to scratch on it when it comes back. The Banshee pilot's like, nah, no problem, man. I got this.
It's his first flight out.
Didn't work out
disaster.
Well. Yeah.
And look at this. Even Apocalypse giving up his position on the map. He had complete Xel'Naga Tower coverage, but pulls all of his Hellions back home for now.
Yep. So now he's kind of in the dark. He's going to become the Turtling Terran, adding that second factory on there. So we'll have to see if he decides to just add on a lot of tanks. Looks like he is planning on going more or less mech. He's getting +1 vehicle weapons upgrade and also Blue Flame as well.
Does have another command center on the way in addition. ThorZaIN's is coming up at the same time, but actually moves forward to take out some destructible rocks and starting to get picked off by this Banshee. 2 Marines have gone down, but Banshee hasn't, of course, done anything to the economy yet.
Yeah, and those Marines do have combat shields too, so it takes 3 hits from the Banshee to kill them rather than 2.
Yep.
It's kind of a nice little benefit for ThorZaIN there. Supply-wise, ThorZaIN is a little bit ahead, too. He's been macroing really hard, and you usually do see a little bit of a lead at this stage in the game with a bio versus mech. Nice little move there.
Look at that! Picking up those Marines. So smart. Scans, picks off the Banshee. Wow. What a good play out of ThorZaIN.
Man, ThorZaIN showing why he is definitely one of the best non-Korean Terran players out there.
Yeah.
He's got the skills.
I would even argue just one of the best Terran players overall. This guy's good, man. And Apocalypse going up into double starport, quad factory. He will be on 3 bases, of course, as soon as he's able to clear up those destructible rocks.
Yep, probably see him add on a Raven pretty soon just to kind of make sure he can tank those Marauder shots. He did see the Marauders in the composition when his Banshee died, I'm sure. So he's got to know that point defense drone will come in a little bit handy here at least.
And a few Marines sitting there. ThorZaIN splitting up those Marines and drives away the Hellions just with those light units, only taking the loss of 1 Marine in the middle. So once again, ThorZaIN just so aware of the map everywhere.
Oh. Those Marines are not quite aware of their impending doom. The Hellions take them up pretty quickly. Oh, but Apocalypse overextending just a little bit. Takes some damage on those Hellions.
Yeah, and ThorZaIN gonna stem up a couple of units, but he's got enough medevacs. It won't really waste all that much energy, so...
Yeah.
Taking a look around now. Destructible rocks go down for Apocalypse. He'll be able to float over his 3rd base, and there it goes. And he'll be producing off of those 4 factories sometime soon now, as soon as he gets the economy up to support that. But ThorZaIN, his economy is already running like mad. He's got bunkers in place to defend against Hellion run bys as well. Very smart.
Now, is there siege mode yet for Apocalypse? I believe he did get it, but I didn't see.
Where's the tank?
Don't recall seeing him research it.
No,
he hasn't yet. So no siege mode. Okay, so ThorZaIN will be able to maybe do a little bit more with this push. The siege mode is kind of the big thing that you need to sort of hold your opponent back if they're going bio against you. But if we can see here, Apocalypse not worrying too much about the tanks, only 1 or 2, pulling a lot of SCVs with this. He wants to shut this attack down hard.
Yes, he does. That tank has already done a little bit of splash damage, and the Hellions have fallen very quickly. They are starting to take out a couple of bio units, but it's just not going to be enough, and ThorZaIN may be able to win with just this push.
Yeah, it's certainly looking that way. He killed that army so efficiently. GG, and that is it.